Hello and welcome to the MILO and ME show. So it's been a while and actually it's been over a year since we have been taking the AGE pill, and I wanted to do a video to give you an update on what's happening with myself and Milo. So Milo's now reached the age of 15, and which is actually 105 in human years, so pretty amazing. So we're really thrilled that she's still with us, actually, because most Labradors don't make it to 15. And I honestly believe that if it wasn't for the Sisel products and the AGE pill, that Milo probably wouldn't be with us, or she'd be in a lot worse state than she is now, that's for sure. So at the end of this little video, I'm going to show you some footage of Milo and how she can still keep up a very fast pace going to and from the park. And in fact, that brings me to a little story that recently I was taking her to the park and she ran all the way there and all the way back. And when I got home, I was telling my mother about it, and she suggested that I drop the dose of the AGE pill and said that instead of giving her 2, I should go to 1. So that was quite entertaining. So obviously you can gather from that story that my mother's not fully on board with it. I mean, she definitely knows that it's helping her, but she's quite anti-supplement. So a difficult belief, I guess, to break through. So we can't help everyone, and even though she's my mum and I'd love her to be taking it, I can't force her or anyone to, obviously. But anyway, back to Milo. So Milo's doing really well. Try and tilt the camera a little bit down on her. She's panting a bit. It's quite hot in this little room. So I've got this little room put together to do some videos, which is really good. And yeah, so she's doing really well. She can still run. Milo can still jump up on the bed. I guess she recently had an issue with her hearing, which was quite unsettling. She went quite deaf, and we got her tested, and it turns out she had an ear infection that needed treating, and the ear infection was making her go deaf. So that's been treated with some antibiotics in her ear, and it has come good. So that's really good. What else? Her grey hair is sort of plateaued. You can actually see it here. I'm just going to tilt down a bit. For a 15-year-old dog, like if you look at her face, there's hardly any grey hair, just around the bit of the nose there. So pretty amazing. It just really put it to a complete stop and did reduce it quite a bit. So pretty thrilled about that. I guess Milo's biggest challenge at the moment would definitely be arthritis. She's just a little bit stiff, but I mean, what do you expect a 15-year-old body? So I think the younger that we can sort of start our pets on these sort of products, the better. I think also obviously diet plays a massive role, so there's not much point in my opinion to be giving your dog the AGE pill if you're feeding it tinned or processed food. Let's be honest, you couldn't possibly know what's gone into that food, and you can't be trusting of manufacturers of pet food, quite frankly, in my personal opinion. So therefore, given that, I feel personally that it's a much better idea to feed your dog a raw food diet. So I've got lots of different meats you can choose from at the butchers. Marrow bones are great. Chicken necks can be good for their teeth as well. Lots of fresh veggies. That's my opinion, and I believe it 100% works because the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as Tom Mao would say, and Milo's 15. So we've had dogs previously who did not make it as long and died quite young, I'd say 11, and they were fed tinned food. So yes, so you can be the judge of that. What else can I tell you? So pretty thrilled really that she's been taking it. And myself, I've had massive improvements, overall energy, massive reduction in musculoskeletal problems, back pain. I've actually got one leg shorter than the other, which has caused me quite a number of issues, and that's just been improving my overall health. I've even started jogging recently, which is really exciting because I've never been able to do that before. So really pleased about that. Continue improvements in skin, hair. You can see it's looking really good. So yeah, really great. Just recently turned 44, so I feel really happy with my overall health now, and yeah, so really thrilled. Just so to jump onto some other news, so Tom Mauer Sr. shared a call on Tuesday and recently told us that the AGE pill has actually been formulated 5 times since its release, reformulated and made stronger and better. With no extra cost to us, which is fabulous. There really isn't any other company that would do that. I mean, if they figured out a way to make it cheaper, they would make it cheaper and, you know, make more profit. That's not what Sisel's doing. They're figuring out a way to make it better and keeping the price the same for us. So we are very blessed and fortunate to be in this situation, I feel. So I wanted to share that with you. It's all right. So Tom Mauer shared recently that if people are finding that they may not be getting the results that they want with the AGE pill, or if they're feeling tired or they've hit a plateau, please consider this information that I'm about to share. So if you want to increase the amount of NAD in the body, it has to be converted to another compound called ATP. So ATP is essential for cellular energy for the whole body. And that requires a methyl donor, and that's a compound that you can find in foods like dark green leafy vegetables, avocado, spinach, broccoli, things of that nature. So if you don't have enough in your system of that methyl donor, then the NAD will get exhausted, which means there won't be enough converted down the cycle into ATP, so energy in your body. So obviously, what does that actually mean? It's quite sciencey, but essentially what that means is you may not get that energy boost that you're expecting from the AGE pill, and in fact, you might even feel slightly fatigued or tired. And so if that's the case, then you definitely want to increase the amount of dark green leafy vegetables in your diet. And if that's not sufficient, you might want to try a loose methylfolate supplement. It's rather inexpensive. You can go and get it at any health food store or pharmacy. And that can work for you and do a really good job. So essentially you want to make sure that it's a methylfolate, not folic acid. It's actually activated form of B9. And so if we don't have sufficient amount of that in our body, we're not going to get the maximum effect from the AGE pill. So if you're an older person or your diet's not that great, this is definitely something you want to consider. And I'm even going to go as far as saying, why not give it a go anyway? Like, why not do that? I mean, it's definitely a good thing to be eating more green vegetables. So I guess that's all I've got to share today. I hope you enjoyed the update. We will share some more information soon. So at the end of this little video segment here, I've got some footage of Milo running, and I've also got a great interview with someone who really pulled their dog through a very difficult time. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate you subscribing to this channel and following our journey. I hope we're adding value to your life, and yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, bye.
I'm doing an interview. Hi, Aaron, it's Katie.
Hey, Katie, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm excited.
Oh, great. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today about Jack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So I've written down a few questions to go through, if that's okay.
Yep. Lay it on me.
All right, great. So first, if you can just tell us maybe where you're from, like what state and country you live in.
Sure. So I'm from town Swansea in the state of Massachusetts in the U.S.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And so you've got your dog's name's Jack. So can you tell us what breed of dog and how old Jack is?
Okay, sure. So Jack is 5 now. He turned 5 in March. He's a mix of a Chihuahua, a Dachshund, and a Jack Russell Terrier.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that's great.
Yep. Quite the mix. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. And so it wasn't that long ago. So can you tell us, I saw the photos and that, so what's been going on with your dog and, what happened to it?
Sure. So it was actually in November. I came home one night and he was looking a little shaky. He was moving very, like slowly, and kind of you could tell something was wrong, and he didn't really want to move too much, and his legs seemed his hind legs seemed a little funny. And so we're like, okay, this is a little weird. Not sure what happened, maybe he hurt himself. So it was pretty late at night, so the next day he had no movement at all in his hind legs in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty crazy. So we went to the vet, and basically found out that he was totally paralyzed. He has what's called degenerative disc disease. So essentially I guess in the spine, his spine's just very brittle, and it's a genetic thing with certain breeds. I think it's very common with Dachshunds. And basically one of his discs ruptured 90%.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So he was, he was totally paralyzed. They gave me, some scary options. It was a pretty intense experience. But we went ahead with the surgery, and they actually removed all the, that damaged vertebrae, or yeah. And after that, they're basically telling me everything with, you're gonna have to get him one of those carts to kind of wheel around on. The chances of him having like any kind of function in his legs were below 25%. So it wasn't the most optimistic news, and everything, but just had to, so we did what we could, did what. So it was so it was a little scary, but that's pretty much what happened.
So I saw in the video that you shared that Jack was actually walking. Was that post surgery?
So no, actually, so post surgery, he still didn't have any feeling in the legs, no responses. They do different tests and things like that. So I think it was they kept him for a few days after the surgery. He had to stay in there with their care and everything. Sure. And he didn't have any kind of nerve response in his feet. They do different kinds of tests and everything, so there really wasn't anything going on. But it's so close to after the surgery that things can change.
Yes.
So
yes.
it wasn't until I don't know, probably probably like about a month after that, he kind of had, he was kind of also doing this kind of like autonomous walking with his legs. They were just kind of like an autopilot kind of a thing, which was great. We're like, oh my God, he's standing up. he's walking. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting.
Yeah. So how long ago did he have the surgery?
So he had the surgery, it was, I believe it was late November.
Okay. Yeah. And when late November. And when did you start him on the products, and what did you put him on? Did you give it to him before and after, or how did that work out?
So, well, thanks to you. I actually, when all this happened, I reached out on Facebook. I was in it was a scary situation. So I really, I felt I was way over my head. I wanted to see what was out there. And, you were very, very responsive, and I'm very, very appreciative of that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
A solid advice for a supplementation regimen. And we actually started him on that actually immediately after surgery. Switched his diet, which was also your great knowledge.
Great.
Because it's all about reducing the inflammation. Apparently a lot of dry food, even though it says one thing, it's essentially fast food for dogs.
Exactly.
So we hopped him on the we have him on the TSX, the AGE, the Renovator, Super Omega. And I've recently been adding the Ripped powder, actually, because I know with his with everything, atrophy is just a natural effect.
Definitely.
And the Ripped was actually designed, for preventing atrophy. So I was just like, let's do it, And it was actually pretty awesome, because his even I was worried about like him getting kind of like depressed and everything like that, but getting, I think, really upping his nutrition and using like these supplements and everything. Not only did it kind of help his healing process with the nerve regeneration and everything, but it gave him like really good positive energy and just like a good, like a youthful spirit still. He wasn't, considering everything, So it was, it really helped a lot. And something we're still going to keep going, because his progress just keeps getting better and better. He's getting more nerve responses. We're doing different kind of therapy right now with like electromagnetic therapy. That was also a recommendation. And every time we go there, we're noticing more and more different muscular and nerve responses with each pulse. So it's really cool, to kind of see that progress. And now all he does is walk around, which is great. He even runs. Sometimes I have to tell him to slow down a little bit because I don't want him to hurt himself.
Wow, so he's running. He can actually like move fully now.
Oh, yeah. Well, with his breeds, he's got a lot of energy, and he just likes to play a lot. So it's a great feeling seeing him, in action.
That's fantastic. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you must be thrilled to see him, happy and moving around, because it's so scary, like what you said, that news is just terrible. So, I'm really happy. That's fantastic. And I'm glad that he's made really good progress. Well, I really want to thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure that it'll help lots of other people as well, and, really give people hope and a bit of insight into, that we really can help our furry friends and look after them as best as possible.
Definitely. That's why I said, like, I know he'd do the same for me,
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
That's the way I see it. Yeah. So, but thank you. You really helped us out big time. Very grateful for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thanks for sharing. I'm really glad I got to speak to you today. So thanks again, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Katie. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. Bye.
Bye.